Hello class, Professor Gustafson here, and I'm going to give you feedback on the Chapter 1 quiz, which you took last week, or a few days ago, actually. Okay, so the first section there is the cultural section, and again, I won't go through everything because some of them were not problematic at all, some of them were more problematic and are more challenging. So anyway, this one, La capital de España es Madrid. And anyway, I won't go through all those. There were not really too many problems there. I will mention this one, number 4. En España se habla, and we have 3 options here. Guarani is a language that's spoken in Paraguay. It's an indigenous language, so that's not it. Portuguese, of course, is spoken in Portugal. So the answer is Castellano, Catalan, Gallego, and Euskera. Castellano is just another word for Español. It just means Spanish. And I won't go into the reason why the word exists, but Castellano just means Spanish. Catalan is another language that's spoken in Spain. It's another Romance language. It's sort of similar to Spanish and French. Gallego is another one, another Romance language. And Euskera is Basque, which is not related to any other language in Europe. Okay, and Gaudí is the arquitecto modernista famoso que diseña el Parque Güell in Barcelona. Gaudí, very famous architect. Okay, all right. So now we have a drop-down menu and a listening activity. These are usually not so difficult. You have caminar, buscar libros, comprar libros, tomar apuntes, comer, bailar, mirar televisión, and trabajar. So here we have, it's a vocabulary lesson and it's also a listening activity. So let's just do a couple of these.
La biblioteca.
La biblioteca is, a little bit here. It's just
La biblioteca.
right. So la biblioteca. So the best thing for the library, la biblioteca, is buscar libros, to look for books. Comprar libros, to buy books. Well, you don't buy books at the library. So the most logical one there is buscar libros, to look for books.
La cafetería.
La cafeteria, the cafeteria. So maybe the most logical one there would be, let's see what we have here. Caminar, to walk, probably not. To take notes, probably not. Comer, bailar, mirar televisión, trabajar. Maybe trabajar. You could work in a cafe. All right. You could maybe eat in a cafe as well. Actually, that's more logical. You eat in a cafe, comer. You could also work in a cafeteria, but probably that will be used somewhere else here.
La casa.
La casa, well, I think mirar televisión, to watch TV at home. La casa.
La oficina.
Yeah, la oficina, that's trabajar, to work. So that's the most logical one there.
La librería.
La librería is where you buy books, the bookstore. Librería sort of sounds like library. That's what we call in language a false cognate, and it's a word that seems to mean something that it doesn't mean. Librería looks like it might mean library, but it actually means bookstore, so that's what we call a false cognate. But generally speaking, when a word looks like a similar word in 2 languages, you can assume it means the same thing.
La playa.
La playa, the beach. So what's the best for la playa, the beach? Caminar, to walk. It's probably the best one there. Okay.
La discoteca.
La discoteca, of course, is bailar is the best one, to dance at the discotheque. And
La clase.
la clase, so tomar apuntes or to take notes. Tomar apuntes means to take notes. That's the best one there. Oops. Okay. So let me go on to our next one, which is a dialogue. With the dialogue, it's always good to read through those first before you start. In this case, we have a word bank. And so you have to choose the one that's most appropriate. But then these are mostly adjectives. And in fact, yeah, almost all except for one are adjectives. And so the thing is you have to use the right form, right? Masculine or feminine. So for example, pequeño or pequeña, you'd use pequeño to describe a masculine noun and pequeña to describe a feminine noun. So you have to be able to recognize the gender of the nouns in Spanish. We don't have gender of nouns in English, but in Spanish they do. And the adjectives have to agree. So, hi Carlos, how is your economics class? Very good. The class is very something. La clase es muy... So let's maybe interesante is probably the best one. The class is very interesting. Okay. And with the adjectives ending in E, like interesante, there's only one form. So you don't have to worry about gender in that case. It's only these 4 here that have the O/A. Favorito, favorita, estudioso, estudiosa, compañero, compañera, where there are the masculine and feminine forms. In the case of interesante and difícil, interesting and difficult, those only have one form, so you don't have to worry about gender for those adjectives ending in those letters. Okay, so anyway, going on here. Sí, so she says, y sacas buenas notas en economía and you get good grades in economics. And Carlos says, yes, I am very something. So what is he? If he gets good grades and he is very something, what is it? Probably estudioso, because he gets good grades. And then estudio siempre. I study always. Okay, and your statistics class? I get bad grades. It's a very something kind of class. So what would be the best one? If he's getting bad grades, what's the most logical? Well, probably difícil is the most logical. So, and it's another thing to point out that in Spanish, the adjectives often go after. So they say it's a class difficult, whereas in English we would say it's a difficult class. We tend to put the pronoun or the adjective before the noun. In Spanish, they tend to put it after. Although not always, but anyway, you'll notice those things as you go through. Es una clase difícil. It's a difficult class. Ah, what a shame. My something also is taking a statistics class. So what would be the best one here? My something is also taking a statistics class. Compañero would be the only thing there that would make sense. My roommate, my friend, my roommate, something like that. She gets good grades. Let's see here. What's the best option here? Todos los días, maybe. Every day. That's probably the best of the remaining options. Es su clase favorita. And clase, the word for class, happens to be feminine, which we can see up here. La clase. So because it's feminine, you have to make the adjective agree. So clase favorita. Feminine ending in A. Okay, qué increíble. So how, that's incredible. And your information class, your computer class, is it big? And it's like, no, the class isn't big. It is, and so it must be pequeña, right? That would be the best one. And again, clase being a feminine noun, you have to make the adjective feminine, so pequeña instead of pequeño. All right, so I'll just kind of read through this dialogue. Hi, Carlos. How is your economics class? Very well. The class is very interesting. And do you get good grades in economics? Yes, I'm very studious. I study always. And your statistics class? I get bad grades. It's a difficult class. Ah, what a shame. My friend is also taking statistics class. She gets good grades all the time, every day. Actually, now that I think about it, it probably is better to say todos los días here. I study every day. And down here to say she gets good grades always. Siempre. That's probably the better, more logical. It's her favorite class. Oh, how incredible. And what about the computer class? Is it big? No, the class is small. There are only 10 students. Ah, that's good. Well, see you later. Bye. Okay. All right. And then we have the next one again. We have a list of places here. La biblioteca, la cafetería, la casa, la clase, la discoteca, el gimnasio, la librería, la playa, and la universidad. And you just have to fill in what's most logical. So, comprar un diccionario de español, to buy a Spanish dictionary. I think la librería is the best. So let's see if I can get my accent marks to work here. La librería, so the bookstore is where you buy it. Estudiar para el examen de español, to study for the Spanish test. So maybe the best option there would be la biblioteca, would probably work. In the library. Okay. And then examen de español, the Spanish test. And I think the best answer there is probably la clase. Right? Okay. And then we have mirar televisión, mi serie favorito, to watch TV, my favorite series. And that would probably be, let's see here, la casa, right? At home. So to watch TV at home. To eat with Juan and Clara. Let's look at our list here. So I think maybe la cafetería is the best one. Comer, eat, la cafetería. All right. Fiesta, bailar con Elisa y Rosa. So a party with Elisa and Rosa. And probably la discoteca. It's probably the best one. They're going to dance. Okay. And then correr must be let me see here. La playa is probably to run on the beach. Of the options here, or el gimnasio could actually work as well. But maybe la playa. Right. Okay. And then going on. We have another listening here. So listen to the following list of places and write the activities that are most likely to do in each location. Let's just kind of do one of these because we're running out of time here.
La librería.
La librería. Well, you could write many things, but you could say comprar libros, to buy books. Let's listen to one other one.
La clase de español.
La clase de español, you could say tomar apuntes, to take notes. You could say asistir, which is to attend. A lot of options there. That's an instructor graded one. Okay, vocabulario en contexto. Decide what school each student belongs to based on the classes he or she takes. So, literatura medieval, historia de España would probably be humanidades. I won't go through all of those for you. All right, this one, you had to match up the two parts of the sentence, the subject, which is who's doing the action, with the action. And really, this is very simple. Mis compañeros, so what you need is the ellos form of the verb. And here we have two possibilities, estudian or practican español. So either one of those will work, but you have to have the ellos, ustedes form of the verb, which is the last form in the conjugations that we've been doing, and it always ends in N. The plural form of the verb always ends in N. All right, Esther y yo, Esther and I, so that's going to be tomamos apuntes, that's the same as we, and the we form of the verb always ends in mos, right? Amos, hemos, or imos always ends in that, so you know that. Tomás y Aaron, that's they, so that other one is going to be either practican español or estudian. La profesora habla con los estudiantes, the professor speaks with the students. Yo busco una palabra en el diccionario. The yo form, the I form, is always ends in an O. Not always, but almost all the time. And usted escucha la conversación. You listen to the conversation. All right, so just matching up the subject with the right verb form. And then with process of elimination there, you can pretty much get through that pretty easily. All right. And this one is challenging, for sure. So let's see here. We've got a list of verbs. You have to know the vocabulary. You have to know the right form. And then you have to look for what's going to work in the context. So we say, ¿Qué tal? Tú trabajas en una oficina, right? You work in an office, right? I attend the University of Salamanca. Every day something to the university at 9 in the morning. So what's the best one here? I would say, llego, I arrive. That's probably the best one. I arrive at the university at 9 in the morning. In class, I take notes. From tomar apuntes. And afterwards, my friend Julian and I, something in the library, probably estudiar. So estudiamos because it's Julian and I, so that's the we form, we study. At the house, my roommates always something television, probably watch, so miran televisión. And my friend Luisa escucha música. On the weekends, Luisa and I, something tennis, practicar, is probably the best one, and it's going to be practicamos because it's, again, Luisa and I, that's we. And my roommates, montan en bici. All right, so there you go. All right. Here, this one is pretty easy, just matching the correct form. Los estudiantes asisten. All right, remember it's plural, it's got to end, the verb form must end in N, so the students attend class. La profesora de computación responde, answers the questions. It has to be responde. Respondo would be I answer, and responden would be they answer. And the subject here is just la profesora, so it has to be responde, which is actually that one there. Responde. Yo leo novelas, the O form for I. Mis compañeros y yo corremos. Remember that we always ends in mos. And tú vives en una casa al lado, the tú form. You form always ends in es, right? Okay, well, I'm kind of running out of time, so this is going to be part 1 of the quiz feedback. So look for part 2 of the quiz feedback as well, which will be in the chapter 1 folder along with this one. Okay.